Right. So, this is one of my blood level 4 runs, and I'm going after Ron. And something happens at the end of the fight that got me thinking about greed. I don't think you need to be clairvoyant to know what probably happens, but you might be a bit surprised by what happens actually. But we talk a lot about greed in Dark Souls and in Bloodborne. Especially, I think, in Bloodborne, where, I mean, greed and aggression sort of go hand in hand, and Bloodborne is a game that rewards aggression with the rally mechanic, and, you lose some health and you jump right back in, and you take those hits to get that health back, and, the game rewards you for that. It also kind of punishes you for that as well by making enemies that are fast and, they do a lot of damage. So, not surprisingly, then, it doesn't take a genius to know that you have to play smart. It helps to know the enemies, it helps to know the bosses, movesets, patterns, and shit like that. So, I like to think that there is a fine line between being appropriately and necessarily aggressive and then being greedy. A lot of people have problems with this NPC hunter here. I pointed this out before. I think other people have pointed it out, that you can just hide under the steps, and then she'll walk down, and you can just sort of zip around her and run up the steps. She gives a lot of people a lot of problems, and she's way fucking harder than Rom. And my first couple of runs of Bloodborne, she punished me fairly. She's not that hard to fight, really, until if she starts doing a call beyond spam, it gets just fuck. But anyway, it's an easy way to deal with her. Pro tip, right? So yeah, I think there's this line, a fine line between being greedy and necessarily aggressive, appropriately aggressive. So when I think about being aggressive in a sort of calculated way, I think about just that word, right? Like, it's calculated, it's somewhat strategic. You know how much damage you're doing, you know how much damage you're going to take, any sort of environmental type variables, like in this fight, like the spiders or something like that, their patterns, where they are on screen, Rom's moveset, so that what looks like recklessness is actually more calculated, and it's not that much of a gamble to run in and maybe take an extra R1 or to do a transformation attack instead of rolling out, because you know that it's probably, more than likely, gonna be okay. I normally don't get hit in this fucking fight, but that spider clipped me right there. So that's what I think about when I think about being appropriately aggressive. You can say within, a good margin of error that it's gonna be okay. And then when I think about greed, I mean, you add in that word reckless, where you're not really considering everything, and you just kind of go in, oh, something big, I'm gonna go fucking hit it. You just sort of treat it like a hack and slash or like a fucking brawler or something like that. And you're not playing the game, I don't want to say right, because everybody can play the game however they want, but let's just say you're not playing the game very fucking smart. And so, I think, to just put it kind of simply, I think, for me, when I think about greed, I think about playing like a fucking idiot. And at the end of this fight, I play like a fucking idiot. And spoiler alert, nobody gives a shit. I die. But I also win. We kill each other at the same time. Now, you might think, well, who gives a fuck, right? You're like, you won. So, yay, right? Well, no. I don't like to die. And it could have very well been the case that I didn't get in this extra R1 or anything like that. And then I would have had to have done all this shit over again. I don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You want to win. You don't want to die. And right here, I knock her out of that teleport, and I did that L1 right there, and I can't say for certain, but I think that's what fucked me. Because I did that L1, I had to let my stamina regen a little bit, and she got off the teleport to go directly into the third phase. The arcane stuff is easy to dodge at any run or any blood level. Um, it doesn't matter. All you gotta do is run. You shouldn't be having any problems with that. So here, I think she has so little health, and I know that I can get her. I think. I think. I dodge this, and I'm not paying any attention to the spiders. I run in. I'm thinking just 2 hits, and she's done. 1, and I die. And the reason this pissed me off at myself, I guess, is if I had just hit her once and then dodged out, the fight might have went on for another however many seconds, but I wouldn't have gotten hit and I wouldn't have died. And it's just being stupid like that. And it might be an odd example, but I think knowing the difference between recklessly greedy and appropriately aggressive is something that'll really help players refine their skills in this game and cultivate a more aware and calculating type of playstyle.